What you mad at? I thought you were winning. This is why I know cats are frauds. They ain't really winning. They just getting money. And I'm like, I've been getting money since 1997.
And that right there, him saying that, introduces a different dynamic we never thought about as the viewing audience of these shows. You see, even though Stephen A. Smith is the hot shot right now, I believe he's making over $20 million a year, some of the former athletes that are on these shows were making that type of money 10 years ago. So certain anchors today have an ego that other athletes are looking at them like, yeah, we achieved that more than a decade ago. And we were making plenty more money on the side. So that's a dynamic the viewing audience never really put out there in Front Street.
Trying to flex on me about some money. Fool, do you know how much money I done, you know the deals I done signed? That made me laugh, Stephen A. trying to come at me with that. I see these questions. Stephen A. try to tell me, oh, I think I won. I think I made it. In 2025? I'm old money compared to you then. You don't come around me talking about, don't flex on me, what you up to, Wiley? You ain't got nothing going. Fool, I'm living off my retirement.
Now also with Marcellus Wiley is popping his collar right now. I feel you, brother. But when he said in 2025, it's like the way he said it. Because in his world, if he'd been on top of his A game as long as Stephen A. Smith has, he should have been the top paid dog all these years ago. Because First Take was a cultural trendsetter, I believe around the 2010s, the early 2010s at least. I mean, even Skip Bayless left and established a whole brand new show, and then he got let go, and then that's when Stephen A. Smith finally got paid the big bucks. So, very subtle shot from Marcellus Wiley.
I'm putting out videos on your head. As the kids say, I want the smoke. I do. I want the smoke because I want us all to breathe like it's normal. It ain't smoke. It's the truth. You can't be flexing on people. You can't be talking about LeBron. You can't be talking about KD, Kyrie. You can't be calling these people out and can't get called out. Who in the fuck do you think you are? Where are you from? Really must be Queens. Like literally Queens. He is raised by a lot of women, but.
Now I'm from NYC and I could say firsthand, it's something about a couple of sports members, particularly from Queens, around Queens Village, around the Cross Island Parkway. There's a couple of members in the sports media, and I noticed one trait about all of them. They tend to be haters. There's something brewing the water over there by the Cross Island Expressway.
But Queens, like that's some Queens shit. And I ain't talking about Queens the city. I'm just talking about like, man, where you from that you can't take this? We touching you up. This football. Oh, it's a contact sport. So everybody out there, all you athletes, all you fans, viewers, touch these people up. They got it. They trying to rig it so they sacred cows. Oh, and if you talk about them, you jealous, you envious, you just at the crib doing nothing. You ain't got a job. Some people don't need a job.
Once again, there's a very thin line between fandom and what they're doing live on the air. And as time goes on, we're seeing it being proven. Once again, FS1, they hired the guys at Barstool. Also with ESPN, even after rejecting Pat McAfee when he tried to get into the building, he branched off and started his own show, and they end up striking a licensing deal with him to attract his audience. In a digital age where everything is moving so fast, a lot of these networks are moving like dinosaurs.
Partner. Some people already made what you making. Partner. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to play flex on flex, ooh, you late. I hate when somebody show up late to the party and act like the party just started. Fool, I've been here. You ever do that? Go to the club? I used to go to the club at 10:30. I go to the club at 10:30. Then everybody pop in like 12, 1 o'clock, and they acting like, oh, it's time to crack. I was like, yeah, I've seen every girl in here. I know emergency exit. I know every bartender name. Like, come on, man. And then they acting like, it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, I'm tired. I'm about to go home. Or I'll rock out with you. But the point is, don't act like the party start when you get there. Your ass is just late. Don't let nobody flex on y'all, dog. These people ain't winning. They just making more money. Trust me. Because if they were winning, they'd be happy. They'll take criticism.
Now, I had family members that worked at some of these sports networks. The pay is low compared to what the industry is. The pay is low for a lot of the behind the scenes people. And you'll be surprised, even the on-air anchors. Once again, the pay is low relatively to how much money the overall production in the industry is pulling in.
Sit your ass down, right? So the point is, I'm not about to get 50 years old and then listen to some grown man trying to tell me I'm less than him or different than him. Nah, fool. We doing the same thing differently. As they say, you're uniquely the same. So don't let nobody flex on y'all. They be trying to punk the whole crowd. Oh, you don't know anything. That's why my other show, On the Rocks, is just me and my friends. Y'all can come on the show. I don't give a fuck. Just can't come to my house, so I got to figure this out. But we're going to have a public place. I like listening to people because cats be knowing shit that I don't know. But, oh, no, you're not in the media, so what's your opinion? Man, if you don't get off your high horse, I'll chop you down. Chop them down. Backstabbing people, backstabbing me, just to get their elevation, okay. And I know how much they all make. They calling me, trying to front, floss. I know how much they all make. I said, you sold yourself for that? Very few of them people make over $2 million, and I know that's a lot of money. Very few make over $1 million.
Now that right there is the scariest part. Wow, very few makes over $1 million. We're talking about covering all NBA season, all NFL season, and they work for a large network like ESPN that has cable deals, that shell out all that money for NBA, NFL coverage. They have relationship with advertisers, and they're the only industry in media when they go live, they actually get ratings. They're the last of a dying dinosaur. So money's coming in, but very few anchor members, because we got to put this into proper perspective. $1 million is a lot of money, but for the industry that they're in, the way their work-life balance is kind of mixed in, for very few on-air personalities to make over $1 million, that's unbelievable. ESPN was paying anchors back in the 90s and 80s more money than that. And they did way less work, and they didn't have to be on air as often.
You doing all that hooping and hollering, clowning, changing your personality, ego, never at home, ain't raising no family for a few $100,000. You're gonna wake up one day and be like, damn, was it worth it? Let me answer that right now. Hell no. No, dummy. No, it wasn't worth it, but to each his own.
So there you have it. Great insight from Marcellus Wiley. And when it comes to Adam Silver, he may have to reconsider and re-examine the way ESPN is interacting with the NBA. They're now doing full intros for Stephen A. Smith during the games as if he's a player entering the arena. So they're more invested into introducing their own personalities within the NBA. And the storytelling is poor. The way the last two NBA finals were covered was a little bit iffy. 2024, during the Celtics and Mavericks series, they spent the whole time talking about the Lakers hiring JJ Redick. And in the 2025 finals, it was even worse. There was no backstory. The production was very vanilla. It was very Wonder Breadish. Nobody gets excited for Wonder Bread. So outside of the TV deal and the money that was exchanged from that, Adam Silver is going to have to re-examine the way ESPN is interacting with the NBA. They're not necessarily growing the game. And next NBA season, they're going to have some competition because NBC is going to put on a master class and show ESPN how to properly broadcast the NBA and introduce an audience who may be not too familiar with the league and make them actually interested in the game that's going to be telecast through a lot of storytelling.